I just think it's the most interesting thing there is. A good song can be touching, very illuminating, very powerful little gem story. I'm Jim Terr. I'm a songwriter, and I want to share with you in this series called Song and Story Weekly, which is actually going to be 4 times a week, the joy of songwriting. You know, I'm not sure many people think about it, but except songwriters, but we listen to songs all day, every day. We appreciate it. We're touched by them at best. And we don't think much about how they're written, or we don't think about writing them. And it's actually a fascinating craft. I aspire to write particularly country hits like Tom T. Hall and Bobby Braddock have consistently. That's kind of my brass ring. I want to share with you some songs I've written and recorded, some of which I think are pretty good, and I've had a little success, and give some background. I always think it's interesting with regard to anything, songs or movies or anything, to hear how it was put together, how the thought came about, what the considerations were. I just think songwriting is about the most fun you can have. And the rewards are great if you get a good hit country song cut by somebody else, in my case. For the first 31 episodes here, I'm just going to take 31 songs from this book that I wrote, actually way back in 1988. Called You Got to Be Stupid to Sing Country Music, and Other Unusual Song Lyrics by Jim Terr. I hope you'll enjoy this series. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'm going to have a new song every day, background on the writing, the recording, whatever. And then on Saturday, particularly, I'll emphasize more the songwriting considerations, so that the Saturday installments could be used as a forum for thinking about your own songwriting or working on it as a group with your family. I think that'd be a great activity. So welcome, and let's get to it, and here we go. I want to let you hear a song called Nothing's Any Better for Me. It's just one of the many I've got in this book, which I had to make some choices as to what to let you hear first, and I just like this song. I like the way the recording came out. As to whether it's a fantastic piece of material or hit material, you be the judge. It was sung by our great friend and singer in New Mexico, Busy McCarroll. She's been around forever. She was always a great singer. She's still a great singer. She's got a band now that's kind of a nouveau jazz rock band. And she's sung many great things for me over the years, and there's something about her voice that is always just ear candy. She just makes anything she sings sound good. So this song, I don't know that it's anything profound. It's kind of in the country mode of poor me, but it lacks what is often in those songs, and that is the aspect of I'm going to get back at you, I'm turning the knife. This is just more kind of goes on and on as poor me. Busy and I also sang a song in the film, a song that I wrote in the film And God Created Woman, a remake of that, which made me a lot of money over the years. You know, one song in one film, it's one of the things about songwriting that's great. One little thing can make you a lot of money over time. And another song she recorded for me, or that we recorded together, a duet of a Bobby Braddock song that you'll recognize if we do it here on the series. And I even hope to get Bobby Braddock to talk about it, about the writing of it. I also want to talk about the recording of these songs at this time. They were recorded in the days before computer recording, and a lot of these songs like this one were recorded on a Fostex 8-track recorder, which was a real good little recorder. I think we got some great recordings out of it by a friend named Rick Mena, who still has a studio in Santa Fe, and he plays a lot of instruments. He plays the guitars you hear here, and harmonicas, and a lot of things. I play bass on all these things where we used to record live. And you know, I want to do a video about that whole little scene, that little recording scene and recording setup that Rick Mena has, and which has evolved into computers and computer-generated tracks and stuff. But that's a separate story. We'll do that later. Now I'm going to come back at the end and talk about some songwriting aspects of this song. So I hope you enjoy it.
Change your style and you've changed your ways. I'm not here to drag you down like in the bad old days. Change your number and your diet too. You bought some contact lenses, now your eyes are blue. I guess I must have really been bringing you down. At least that's what you're telling everyone in town. You change the way you talk and the way you sing. You change the way you say you look at everything. All I've changed is the lock on my door. Things are so much quieter than they were before. Your life has gotten brighter, anyone can see. But nothing's any better for me, for me. Nothing's any better for me. Nothing's any better for me, for me. Nothing's any better for me. Guess I never noticed what a drag I was. You must have loved me for no reason, baby, just because you've changed the shoulder that you're crying and the hand you hold. You changed your mind by giving me a band of gold. But all I've changed is my pillowcase. My tears have been falling while my poor heart aches. I'm happy for the way that you set yourself free. But nothing's any better for me, for me. Nothing's any better for me. Gotta say it now. Nothing's any better for me, for me. Nothing's any better for me. I can't help but wonder what you think you've done. Should I spend my whole life crying while you have your fun? I think I'm gonna change the way that I respond when a man who says he loves me is just up and gone. I'm gonna close my heart to the joy I've known and turn down the light of the love I've shown. My heart will be a diamond that no one can see. But it won't be any better for me. 'Cause all I've changed is the lock on my door. Things are so much brighter than they were before. Your life has gotten brighter, everyone would agree. But nothing's any better for me, for me. Nothing's any better for me. It's the truth, buddy. Nothing's any better for me, for me. Nothing's any better for me. Nothing's any better for me, for me. Nothing's any better for me. Nothing's any better for me, for me. Nothing's any better for me.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Nothing's Any Better for Me, sung by the great Busy McCarroll. I want to say a little bit about the songwriting of that. I don't have too much to say about it, but it brings up an interesting issue for me that's always there. And that is, how good is it? You know, you write, you try to write your best, you try to improve. And sometimes you think, well, I got a song there that could be cut. That's as good as what you hear on the radio. And there's an interesting point about that idea. I mean, this is after you filter out your own biases about how great your own stuff is, you know, that, and then I'm my greatest critic. There's that always going on, filtering in there. So it's hard to tell, it's hard to judge, obviously, and the test is whether you get it cut and have a hit, and so on. But there's an interesting thing to know that somebody pointed out to me once, and that is, you write a song, you're very happy with it, and you say, and people tell you, by God, that's as good as what you hear on the radio. Well, that's fine, but there's one little thing about that. It's got to be better than what you hear on the radio, because if you're not in Nashville and you're not one of the you're not the artist, you're not one of the producers, you're not somebody who's there schmoozing with them all the time, you've got an extra hurdle to overcome to get them to hear your song and love it and want to do it. So therefore, it's got to be better than what you're hearing on the radio, better than what's being written. So that adds an interesting challenge, this whole songwriting thing, especially if you are out here in the boondocks and not in Nashville schmoozing the artist or involved with the artist or the producer. There you go. See you next time.